The most expensive favor may be the one you never asked for. A coworker brings you coffee. A friend solved the problem before you ask. Someone gives you access, attention, an introduction, a ride, a gift. Nothing is requested in return. Not yet. Then, days later, the favor reappears in a different form. After everything I did for you, the gift has become evidence. Kindness has become a receipt. And a decision that should be judged on its own is suddenly wrapped in guilt. This is not a story about rejecting generosity. Human relationships could not survive without people helping one another. It is a story about the moment help stops being help and becomes leverage, because gratitude is real. But gratitude is not consent. This is the invisible debt, the pressure to repay something you never agreed to borrow. And once you can see how that debt is created, you can keep your integrity without surrendering your freedom. Reciprocity is one of the oldest operating systems in human life. When someone helps us, we tend to feel that help should eventually move in the other direction. That expectation makes cooperation possible between people who cannot write a contract for every act of trust. You watch my bag. I cover your shift. You share information. I remember when you need support. Healthy reciprocity is not a trap. It is social memory. It tells people that generosity will not always be punished and selfishness will not always be rewarded. But every useful social rule creates an opening for pressure. If receiving creates a sense of obligation, then giving can influence what happens next. That does not mean the giver planned to manipulate you. Intent matters, but it is often invisible. The effect can appear even when the giver is simply being kind. The quiet power question is not, was the favor good? It is, does this favor now control a decision that should still belong to me? In a classic 1971 experiment, psychologist Dennis Reagan placed participants in a setting with another person who was actually part of the study. For some participants, that person left the room and returned with a soft drink for them. Later, he asked the participant to buy raffle tickets. The favor increased compliance with the later request. The important detail was not simply that people liked the favor giver more. The evidence suggested that normative pressure to reciprocate played a central role. In plain language, the drink changed the meaning of the request. Without the drink, buying a ticket was a decision. After the drink, refusing could feel like a failure to return something. Later experiments found related effects in different small favor exchanges. Researchers have observed that reciprocal exchanges can raise the chance that someone agrees to a later request. But this is where bad advice usually begins. It takes a context-dependent effect and turns it into a magic button. Give first. Make people owe you. Collect later. That is not quiet power. That is a relationship designed like a dead instrument. The research does not show that every favor creates compliance. It does not show that people lose free will. It shows something more subtle and more useful. A previous act can enter a later decision as invisible pressure. Imagine two identical requests. In the first, someone asks for your time. In the second, they ask for your time after giving you something. The practical cost may be identical. The emotional cost of saying no is not. Now your mind is balancing two ledgers. What does this request deserve? And what kind of person would refuse after receiving? That second question is where autonomy begins to blur. The request is no longer competing only with your schedule, priorities, or values. It is competing with your identity. You do not want to seem selfish. You do not want to imply that their kindness meant nothing. You do not want to create awkwardness. So you say yes, not because the request is right, but because refusal feels morally contaminated. This is why an unsolicited favor can be so powerful. You did not negotiate the size of the favor. You did not choose the timing. You did not agree to the exchange rate. Yet later, you may feel responsible for settling an account whose terms were never stated. The psychology is not one-directional. Research on unexpected or unusual favors describes two competing reactions. The first is obligation. I should repay this. The second is reactance. My freedom is being restricted. That tension explains why a favor can produce gratitude and discomfort at the same time. You appreciate what happened. You also sense that a door has quietly closed behind you. Some people respond by complying. Others pull away, distrust the giver, or repay too quickly just to erase the debt. Both reactions can come from the same source, the desire to recover choice. That is why strategic generosity often damages the very relationship it tries to control. The giver may gain one yes and lose future trust. The receiver may repay the favor and then reduce access. Compliance can look like loyalty for a moment, but loyalty chosen under pressure is unstable. One of the most revealing modern findings makes the trap even clearer. In a series of studies published in 2020, researchers examined what they called returnable reciprocity. Instead of giving people an unsolicited gift they had to keep, the giver allowed them to return it if they did not want to comply with a later request. That sounds like more freedom, but in the studied settings, the returnable gift could produce even more compliance than the traditional version. The researchers suggested that returning the gift may have made non-compliance feel more explicit and guilt-producing. The exit existed, but using it carried a psychological price. This does not mean choices are fake whenever an exit is offered. It means the design of an exit matters. If saying no requires a public rejection, a symbolic repayment, or an admission that you distrust the giver, then the option may be formally available while emotionally expensive. Quiet control rarely says, "You cannot leave." It says, "You can leave, but look at what that says about you." So how do you distinguish generosity from control? Not by becoming cynical, not by assuming every gift hides a plan. Look at what happens after the gift. Healthy generosity leaves the receiver more resourced and still free. Leverage makes the receiver more resourced and less free. Healthy reciprocity can tolerate delay, difference, and even refusal. Leverage keeps score selectively. Healthy generosity allows repayment to take a form both people can accept. Leverage sets the exchange rate after the fact. The warning signal is not kindness. It is conversion. The moment a past favor is converted into authority over a new decision. I helped you, therefore you should agree. I supported you, therefore you should give me access. I was there for you, therefore your no is betrayal. Those statements do not prove the original kindness was fake. They prove the current request cannot defend itself without borrowing power from the past. When a request arrives carrying the weight of an earlier favor, do not answer immediately. Run 5 questions. First, did I ask for the original favor? An unsolicited gift can still deserve gratitude, but you did not consent to an unknown future price. Second, was an exchange stated clearly at the time? If the arrangement was explicit and fair, honor it. Quiet power is not avoiding agreements. It is refusing invented agreements. Third, would I say yes if the earlier favor had never happened? This is the cleanest test. Remove the gift from the decision. Evaluate the request on its own. Fourth, is the requested return proportional and freely chosen? Reciprocity is not a blank check. A coffee does not purchase a weekend. An introduction does not purchase loyalty. Emotional support does not purchase control over your relationships. Fifth, can this person hear no without rewriting the past? A generous person may feel disappointed. A controlling person often turns the favor into a weapon. These questions do not tell you what to choose. They return the choice to its rightful owner. The strongest response is not a courtroom argument. It is a clean separation. I appreciated what you did. I can't agree to this. That sentence protects 2 truths at once. The favor mattered. The present decision is still independent. If a real agreement existed, name it. I agreed to return the equipment on Friday, and I will. I did not agree to take on this project. If you want to reciprocate, choose a form that reflects your values instead of their pressure. I can help for 30 minutes, but I cannot own the whole task. And if the favor is being used to demand access, loyalty, silence, money, or a violation of your standards, do not negotiate with the receipt. The past can explain gratitude. It cannot manufacture consent. There is another side to quiet power. How do you give without creating invisible debt? Make the gift clean. Do not offer what you cannot give freely. Do not perform generosity while secretly setting a price. If you need an exchange, state the exchange before the other person accepts. If you're making a request, let the request stand on its own. And if someone says no, do not prosecute them with your history of kindness. Research on gift exchange suggests that givers can underestimate how uncomfortable recipients feel when they cannot reciprocate. So clarity is not less generous. Sometimes clarity is the most generous part. No pressure. You do not owe me. If this creates an obligation, please do not accept. Those words matter only if your behavior later proves them true. The invisible debt survives because it hides inside of virtue. Gratitude. You should be grateful when someone genuinely helps you. But gratitude is an emotion, not a transfer of ownership. You can appreciate a gift and reject a demand. You can honor a real agreement and refuse an invented one. You can return kindness without surrendering judgment. The goal is not to owe nobody. The goal is to know what you actually owe and what someone merely wants you to feel. Because the cleanest form of power is not making people repay you. It is giving without needing to control what comes back. If you want more evidence-based lessons on quiet authority, social pressure, and self-command, subscribe to Quiet Power Code and comment one word, free. Not because you owe this channel anything, because that is the standard